The zoo wants you to believe that this is the best place for them to be, but it's in fact a prison for them. Packy is suffering. The zoo admits that he has active TB again. It's just been publicly made known that Packy has active tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is only transmitted between humans and elephants. Elephants in the wild do not contract tuberculosis. 7 of the Oregon Zoo's staff members have contracted tuberculosis, and so have the elephants. Rama and Tusco both died last year, both had tuberculosis. The infant mortality rate at the Oregon Zoo is astronomical. And many of the zoo's elephants have died. The Oregon Zoo says home is where the herd is, yet where's the herd? Their elephants die at an alarming rate. And their quality of life is miserable. Chendra, the elephant in there, the pygmy Borneo, no matter what time of day, month, or year you go in, you'll find her circling and circling. And it's called zoochosis. When you go into the zoo, today, notice the elephants in confinement. Elephants do not thrive in confinement. Even the American Zoo Association admits that zoos cannot provide the kind of room that elephants need to roam. They are social and intelligent beings. They're the largest mammal on Earth, and they don't belong in captivity. When you go into the zoo today, please look into the animals' eyes. Just really look at them and ask yourself if you really believe that they're happy. And ask yourself, would you want to switch places with them? Imagine spending your whole life behind bars while people come and stare at you. Just because they're not human doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. Silence is complicity, and until their voices are heard, I will raise mine. If you care about animals, then when you go into the zoo, if you care about animals, and I'm sure everybody here is an animal lover, then really look at them. Look at the polar bear in there. Am I being, Oh yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so hey everybody. Let's see. Okay, all right. Hey everybody. We're here at the Oregon Zoo, and I'm just going to give you a pan of. Let me just actually pan. And we're some of the. Hey guys.
Hey.
Why are you guys here?
Because we believe in animal rights. Yeah, and Packy is sick and is suffering, and help him.
Right on.
He doesn't deserve to be in a zoo all alone and pretty much away from all the other elephants.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being so informed and care. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just panning the area. Everybody here is protesting against the fact that Packy is in quarantine and has tuberculosis. And I want to talk to Bala because he knows a lot about Packy's condition. Hey Bala, so Packy has active TB, and help us free Packy.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, so you want to say a bit about why we're here?
Oh yeah, Packy has tuberculosis, and it's in an active form, which means he can actually transmit. And he's been in quarantine for a long time, for close to 3.5 years, to keep other elephants from contracting TB. And TB is a disease that elephants never get in the wild. They get from captivity, either in the zoo or in the circus, from people. And that's the only way Elephants Get TV.
Yes.
And we are here to let people know that this is something serious going on. It's not all fun and games.
Yes. Well, thanks, Bala. Thanks for being out here. And it's interesting to notice when you watch the people, they, you know, I don't blame them. They want to experience animals. I think everybody here is an animal lover, right? But they don't really know what that means. And it's hard for them to be willing to be informed. But you notice this is a form of entertainment for people. And know that on the other side of the zoo's doors are miserable, miserable animals. We were here on Free Day a couple of weeks ago, and we watched for ourselves how miserable they were firsthand. So, hey there.
Hey there.
You're here for?
Just myself.
Yeah, for Packy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to make your voice heard
Yeah.
for theirs, because they're voiceless without us. Thanks for being out here. Hey there. Hey, where's Courtney? Look at everybody here.
Definition of
It is
insanity.
packed with lots of protesters. Hi, guys. Thanks for being out here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And now, if anybody knows what's going on at the zoo, Courtney does. Courtney, would you be willing? We're on live Facebook. Could you just tell people, you know, we've basically said some of the basic things here, me and Bala, and could you tell people why you're wearing the TB mask, and maybe take it off while you speak so people can actually hear you?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just put it up in your head for a minute. Yeah, thanks.
Isn't that terrible? How does that look?
So
Yeah,
why,
funny, yeah.
So why did you start Free the Oregon Zoo Elephants?
I started Free the Oregon Zoo Elephants with other friends in order to bring awareness to the plight of the elephants here at the Oregon Zoo, who've been in captivity for their whole lives, most of them. A couple of them were imported here from the wild. But they've been suffering, and basically no one was really paying attention to them. They were just pretty much ignored by even the animal rights community for the most part. So I really wanted that to highlight that. And to also, at that point, I became familiar with Packy. And Packy is a 54-year-old elephant here, and I watched him pace back and forth in his cage. And that really woke me up. I said, oh my God, I can't believe this is going on, you know.
Right. And you know, I want to add, I've learned a lot from you and many of the other members of Free the Oregon Zoo Elephants, and I want to tell people that I will post, there's videos. I saw a video of Packy when he was born. He was born, I think, in 1961. The
62.
So, okay, I'm a year older than him. So you can see the footage from 1962 when he's born. You know, the lines are out, you know, down the block, and it's just fun to look at the fashion back then. But what's really excruciating is that 54 years ago, he was the big draw. People came from everywhere to see Packy, the little baby. Was he bred here?
Yes.
So he was bred here for money. See, don't let zoos fool you. It's a money-making business. They will say whatever you hear them say. They will say conservation, education, whatever. It's about money. And if you look at Packy, they used him up. He was the big draw, and now he's been sick with so many ailments, and they just have him in quarantine, and he's just suffering, and all the other elephants are suffering. But I am going to post a video of Packy where you show that over the years it starts out really good for everybody, but then we've just forgotten him.
Right. He has definitely been forgotten. And I saw him for the first time. Last time I came was just a few weeks ago. The first time in 3 years. Because they are keeping him separate, but he's in the back.
Way
behind the
separate.
south,
Way separate.
In a very
by himself.
small area.
By himself in
Yeah.
quarantine. And he's been that way for at least a couple of years.
Well, July 2013 is when he was first diagnosed.
Okay?
He was just diagnosed again with active TB.
Yes.
So he's on the meds again.
And didn't he lose about 1,000 pounds?
A couple times.
Right?
Yeah, a couple times. So they have to take him off the meds, and it's an 18-month treatment period.
Yes.
So he's now back on the meds for at least, I guess, another 18 months.
And as people probably know, anybody who's had to deal with a loved one who has cancer or any other, severe illness, the meds can be just as bad or worse and bring a whole other slew of symptoms that are very painful. And that's what he goes through.
Yes.
Is the meds alone are just killing him.
Right.
And nothing's changed.
No, it's gotten worse.
And what would you say in general about the elephants here? Because you know the history. There's so many elephants that have died in captivity. What would you say? Anything else you want to say?
I would say the breeding program is a huge failure. If you if you gauge it in the success of live births that live, a lot of the babies died. And then a lot of them died at young ages. A lot of them were sold to circuses.
40% more infant mortality rate at zoos than in the wild. And yes, say more about they say they want to breed the elephants for the zoo, but then they often sell them or swap them with other zoos and sell them to circuses.
Right. Now they claim they no longer have they claim they no longer are working with Half Truncal Travel, who was kind of a famous circus trainer. They train for movies, they train for advertising and TV. And I've asked the zoo director if they still have a contract with them, and he said they no longer own any of the elephants here. But that isn't exactly saying they no longer have a contract, so I have yet to get the full information about that. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I don't really know. But in other words, the former zoo director told us that having a contract with Half Truncal Travel, for instance, is a normal operating procedure.
And I'm just going to interject here. This is great, Courtney, because most of you probably don't know who are watching that Half Truncal Travel. They're horrific. There's actual footage. You can go on the internet and you can see how they treat their elephants. They beat them. It's horrible. There's no way, and I'm going to just pan. Thank you, Courtney.
Sure.
Thanks, everybody. And I just want to show, hey, Catherine. You're on Facebook Live. So, yeah, hey, everybody. Hi, Sandy. Just thank everybody for being out here.
Yes.
Hey, Patty.
Woo!
Yes, free the Oregon Zoo elephants.
Absolutely.
And, you know, just, I'll turn it here one more time. Let's see. Yeah, so I just want to say that it's about a year that I started to realize the plight of the elephants. And before that, I just had no clue. And that's the reason I'm out here, is because a year ago when I started to do my homework, and it started with Kavan, the elephant in the Islamabad Zoo, who is still in the Islamabad Zoo suffering horribly. He was the one who was chained for most of his 28 years, and he's still often chained. And Sonny and his colleague they are university students who do nothing but help the animals. This is in Pakistan, but this is happening all over the world, but particularly with Sonny Jamil and his colleague. They were recently at the Islamabad Zoo, I think like yesterday, and they were beaten by Bilal, by the zookeepers, the caretaker of Kavan. And I just want you to know that this is serious business. It's serious money for these zoos. So they do whatever it takes. And I want to put out a shout out. So Kavan is still not released, and he's supposed to be. And I just want to say that if you know anything about Kavan's plight, please go to helpwelfare.org and pay attention to what's happening for Kavan. So because I learned about Kavan a year ago, I then started doing my homework, and then I started to learn about the Oregon Zoo elephants, and that's where I became familiar with Free the Oregon Zoo elephants. And then, as some people know, it led me to animal rights and learn about that, and then it's led me to veganism. So I no longer eat animals. And also my shirt says, until their voices are heard, I will raise mine. So guess what? Here we are, and until their voices are heard, thank you, Anne, until their voices are heard, we will raise ours. Until our voices are heard, we will raise ours. Until their voices are heard, we will raise ours. Until their voices are heard, we will raise ours. Until their voices are heard, we will raise ours. Free the elephants, free Packy. They're suffering. And when you go in today, please look into the animals' eyes and really connect with them and ask yourself, do you really think that they want to be here? And ask yourself if you would want to be in their place. And if the answer is no, then do the right thing. Thank you, everybody.